John Ritter and Henry Winkler are two of the more beloved television actors of all time. They each played iconic roles on major sitcoms and were catapulted to mega stardom in the process. But did you know these two television comedy giants were good friends? Today we're going to delve into the friendship between John Ritter and Henry Winkler, and even reveal what Ritter told Winkler a mere hours before passing away. So join Facts First as we take a look at what John Ritter said to Henry Winkler hours before he died. John Ritter and Henry Winkler were two of the biggest names in TV comedy in the 1970s and 80s. Winkler became famous from his turn as Arthur the Fonz Fonzarelli on the classic TV show Happy Days. His cool guy persona, complete with motorcycle, leather jacket, and suave personality, resonated with viewers as they watched the nostalgic show and remembered life in the 50s. The role catapulted him to mega stardom, and he remains one of the biggest legends in TV history. John Ritter's role on the campy and wild sitcom Three's Company in the 1980s served as his springboard to stardom. His portrayal of Jack Tripper was goofy, over-the-top, and hilarious. He instantly became a household name and spent 172 episodes as Tripper. According to an interview with Winkler, the two became friends at the 25th anniversary party for the ABC network. This was right before Three's Company was about to air for the first time. According to Winkler, he was seated at the table next to Ritter's. In fact, their chairs were back to back. Even though they'd never met, Winkler had recently seen ABC's promo for the upcoming show Three's Company and was impressed. Winkler said he leaned over and said he thought the promo was funny and that Ritter's physical comedy was fantastic. Winkler says that started a long and loving friendship. Although the two had never met before this interaction, they did have an interesting acting overlap, as often happens. They both had been guest stars on The Mary Tyler Moore Show, but not in the same episode. Winkler appeared in an episode called The Dinner Party in 1973. Ritter was in an episode in 1975 called Ted's Wedding. John Ritter's death. John Ritter was in the middle of rehearsals for his hit show 8 Simple Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter on September 11, 2003, when he began feeling ill. The shoot was at the Disney lot in Burbank, and while rehearsing, Ritter started to experience chest pain. He also started to vomit and sweat heavily. The crew knew something was not right, so they rushed him across the street to the closest hospital. That was Providence St. Joseph Medical Center, which oddly enough was the same place Ritter had been born in 1948. At first, his symptoms led doctors to presume he was having a heart attack. He was treated for that ailment as doctors monitored him further, but quickly it became clear something else was going on. As his condition got worse, doctors eventually realized he had an aortic dissection. They rushed him into surgery and attempted to save his life. Unfortunately, they weren't able to. Ritter died that evening at the medical center. The world of entertainment, as well as Ritter's millions of fans, were shocked by the tragedy. Before we tell you more about Winkler and Ritter, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Winkler pays tribute to his friend. After John Ritter died, many people from the world of show business came forward with their thoughts and remembrances. This included John's longtime friend, Henry Winkler. In December of 2003, he penned a heartfelt tribute to his friend, saying, "I met John at ABC's 25th anniversary party. When he walked into a room, his utter Johnness just filled it up." Winkler continued by saying John had a life force and an energy that made people wonder how he did it. He said he was so smart, perceptive, and so big, and had so much funny in him, it was almost like his body couldn't contain it. Winkler also talked about how, as John's good friend, he was able to see sides of Ritter that were kept private from the general public. He claims Ritter wasn't always the jovial and happy-go-lucky person he played so often on TV and in films. Instead, Winkler said he got to see that John was much more of a serious person in private. Winkler claimed Ritter was forever searching for answers and didn't act carefree like his public persona suggested. He also said he was duty-bound, and that attribute also played a big part in why he was such a great father and husband. Winkler has said publicly he misses Ritter every day. He remembers John as having such a sense of perfect comedic timing that he could potentially tell you the same joke day after day, and you'd keep laughing as hard each time. Winkler spoke to Ritter before his death. Amazingly enough, Ritter's good friend Henry was on the set of 8 Simple Rules the day Ritter died. Winkler had signed on to play a guest part in that episode. Winkler and the rest of the cast, including Katie Segal, Kaylee Cuoco, Amy Davidson, and Martin Spaniers, were all rehearsing, trying to prep for the upcoming taping. That's when Ritter began experiencing the series of ailments that ultimately led to his death. Winkler has shared in interviews that he and John were on a break from rehearsing and were chatting about a play they had just finished doing. That was Neil Simon's The Dinner Party. At some point, Ritter began experiencing his first symptoms of sweating profusely. As a result, he had to cut their conversation short. Winkler said John turned to him and said, "I'm sweating, I'm going to get some water." Winkler responded saying, "I'm going to memorize my lines so I don't stink up the room." And according to Winkler, those were the last words the two ever spoke to each other. Shortly after this conversation, Ritter was taken to the medical center across the street where he died several hours later. Winkler testified in court about John's death. After John Ritter died in 2003, his widow, actress Amy Yazbek, filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the hospital as well as the doctors who treated John. Her contention was that they misdiagnosed John when he arrived at the hospital, thinking he was having a heart attack. She sued his cardiologist as well, claiming he had previously missed an enlarged aorta when he treated Ritter 2 years before his death. Winkler was asked to testify in the court case on the matter, to which he agreed. Most of his testimony was focused on the type of man and father John Ritter had been, as well as his recollection of the events as they unfolded the day of Ritter's untimely death. He recalled speaking to John before he was taken to the hospital, then received a call later that night that he'd passed. Winkler said that any conversation with John was wrapped around his children. He also added that Ritter and his wife Amy were a stellar team who acted like two sides of a whole. After his testimony, Winkler spoke to the press but didn't weigh in on whether or not he felt the doctors and the hospital were at fault for Ritter's death. The jury ended up deciding for the defense, saying neither the doctors nor the hospital were at fault for John's untimely end. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite memory of John Ritter? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content. By the way, if you haven't joined Facts First as a member yet, be sure to look below this video and click the join button. By becoming a paid member of Facts First, you'll get access to exclusive video content that you won't find anywhere else. This includes some of our more mature content that isn't suitable for public audiences, which includes topics like Hollywood actresses who posed for Playboy and some of the steamiest moments in movie history. Plus, you can enjoy these videos completely ad-free. Our biggest fans will notice they also get badges next to their name when they leave comments on our videos. We pay special attention to comments from our members, and so do other viewers. So if you want exclusive content from Facts First or inside access to discussions with other community members, click the join button to get started for just $4.99.